And joining us now is Ports of Auckland's General Manager of Communications, Matt Ball. Kia ora, Matt. How can Ports of Auckland do better?
G'day, Lisa. Yeah, things are a bit difficult at the moment, but it was interesting listening to the comments from Chris there. I really do need to correct that. He's putting the blame on automation, which is not correct, and he's saying that I think we had 10 crane drivers as opposed to we used to have 50 and we switched on automation, and those numbers are just completely wrong. So the bits that are problematic, there are some issues from overseas, but the thing that we have got wrong is that we misunderestimated the impact of COVID on our business and on the labour supply. So we are now in a position where we don't have enough staff. It's not like Chris says, but we don't have enough staff.
How short are you, Matt, and of what jobs?
We're short of some crane drivers, some straddle operators, and a lot of lashers, and a few other roles. We probably need around 50 people. Long term, we're like many industries, like truck driving and others, where we have always had a short supply of staff. So we've always been about 30 short in the last sort of 2 to 3, 4 years, but it's got worse as a result of COVID.
But you accept there's some poor planning on your part then in terms of forecasting?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, we didn't anticipate some of the impacts of COVID. So, for example, the automation project, we were actually trying to get that done and sorted in the quiet part of the year before July. We were going to go live with the first half of that automation in March. Then we had the lockdown, and that just pushed everything back. And now we've gone half automated, but we've hit the busy part of the year. And so as a result, we've had to work harder. We're operating 2 terminals. We don't have full automation, which would have actually relieved some of that labour pressure. And all of those things.
Well, so they're right when they say automation is not working, because in the sense, just hear me out here, Matt, in the sense that you have acknowledged you're not all the way through the automation project, which would have lifted productivity, sped things up. So you're a halfway house. You're operating 2 different systems and not, well, at your peak performance. Yeah.
But it's not true to say that automation isn't working. I mean, as an example, we're very slow getting the ships in, but we're not slow in operating the trucks at the other end of the terminal, getting the containers on the trucks. And the automated side, the manual side, both load the trucks at the same speed. So, we have that with fewer people.
Why can't you get the ships in faster?
That's our labour resources on the whole rest of the terminal. So crane drivers, straddle drivers and lashers.
That's pretty poor, isn't it, Matt, coming into what is the busiest part of the year?
No, it's not good. That's right. We're trying to fix it. We're trying to hire people as fast as we can. That, admittedly, is still difficult. We thought maybe things will be better at the moment because, a lot of people have lost jobs, but we've got 7 people starting work on Monday, but that's out of over 30 people that we interviewed. Only 7 have got through the process. We are finding it difficult to hire people.
So how are you going to put this right in the short period of time that you've got? Because you will appreciate this. There are people who are sitting there and their businesses will sink or survive based on how quickly you can get the ship and their container unloaded and to them. So what's your message to them?
We are working as hard as we can to try and get more staff on. We're working with the Ministry of Transport and Immigration to try and get visa changes for people who have the skills that we need who are in New Zealand. So we're working with officials on that. That's a small number of people, but it will help. And we are just continuing to advertise. I mean, it's a pretty good job. I know you have to work nights and weekends, but, we pay minimum wage, not minimum wage, we pay the living wage at worst for the lower skilled jobs, 5 weeks leave, 15 days sick pay, it's fatigue leave if you get tired. So, it's a good job.
Matt, how did you get your forecasting so wrong?
I think COVID, to a certain extent, did catch us out. I can really only put it down to that we kind of...
Well, is that true when you say that you've been 30 people down before COVID? So it's not all COVID, is it?
No, it's not all COVID, but it did catch us unawares. It pushed out the automation project, like I say. That was coming along to help us with those labour numbers, and we haven't been able to implement it. We were hoping we could have got the work done, and we tried to get the work done, but the early import peak also caught us out. So, there's been significant changes in the import patterns as well, and that did catch us out.
We spoke to Don Braid last week from Mainfreight, big company, lot of business, and I want to read you a quote from him. Of Ports of Auckland, he says this: "They are underperforming. Their lower productivity for this time of year, this is the peak time, is just not good enough. I'm sure they will have all the excuses in the world, but the reality is the country requires that port to perform as best as it can." What is your response to that?
Well, unfortunately, at the moment, we are performing as best as we can.
But your best is not good enough right now, is it?
No, it's not. We need more people. We need to progress our automation, and we need to get back to operating at that level that we have been, which is, among the best ports and best productivity in Australasia.
What's the backlog right now? How long does it take?
It depends what you're talking about. So ships, 10 to 12 days are waiting to get into port, the container ships. That's not true for car ships and bulk and those other things. They are coming through okay. In terms of getting containers off the port, actually that's very smooth, and we are having world-beating times in getting containers off the port. So less than 2 days dwell time, which is really up there.
Given what you are saying there, given that you are having labour capacity issues and that this is not a short-term fix, what does that mean for Christmas demand? What does it mean for businesses? Sounds like you can't put this right before Christmas.
It will be tough. We will try and get
tough
the
or
staff
impossible?
that we need. I honestly don't know, Lisa. It really depends on who we can get through the door, who we can interview, and how quickly we can get people on board and train them.
Can you understand or appreciate why some of your customers are really unhappy with you right now?
Absolutely.
So, are you offering them an apology?
Oh, absolutely. And we communicate to our customers very regularly. I think that was one of the things Don Braid said we did do quite well. But we really are trying to put things right. It will only come right when we get the right number of people, when we get automation finished and get things working properly. Yes, it will take a number of weeks. It's a difficult thing that we are doing, but we are working as hard as we can to get it done. What's
the Mayor said to you about this? Has he asked for a please explain?
We've kept the Mayor updated on this, so we've kept him across the issues.
Has he expressed, unhappiness with the situation?
I don't know at that point.
So have you had conversations with him?
Not me personally, no.
Because that's the other question that your customers are asking. Where's your CEO? Where's the chair? Why aren't they fronting up and answering questions on this?
They're happy to answer questions, but, it's my job to talk to the media and answer questions, and we have fronted for every media outlet that's asked us about this.
So the buck stops with you. It's on you, is it?
It is. I am part of the exec team, so I'm part of the group where the buck stops.
Appreciate your time this evening. That is the General Manager of Communications for the Ports of Auckland, Matt Ball.